So the short code program in the U.S., Simon said, was built about 20 years ago, and the cost to rent a short code, because you don't own the short code, you lease the short code. Every month you have to pay, depending on if you pick the number, so we call it a vanity phone number or a randomly assigned number, it's either $500 or $1,000. And then some service providers, we have fees on top to manage the code or operational fees on top of that. But the key about the short code is it's not unlimited volume, but it's very, very high throughput. So you're able to look at campaigns where you're sending, we have customers that send tens of millions of messages a day, and the short code performs, very, very well. They give you handset delivery receipts and, the velocity and volume. So if you're, can afford the monthly fee, you're pretty good. Reasons why you wouldn't want to use a short code, same thing, money, it's expensive. A number might be $5, $10, but short code is $500 or $1,000. There's no calling, right? You can't turn it into a voice call, like I said before. So you're generally stuck with that conversation, or you have to get the consumer to leave that conversation and use a different phone number. The support for the short codes is really limited to US or Canada only, not really and Canada. So when you go, because the US short code program and there's a Canadian short code program, you have to go provision the code in both countries. So now you're paying double for that code, because registering in the US doesn't give you Canada. You have to go get Canada too. So now you're looking at even more expensive proposition to run the traffic in both places, but those codes only work in the US or Canada. Go ahead, Simon.
Yeah, this partially answers a question someone posted, which was, can the same short code be supported across multiple countries?
No. So you can go get the same short code if you're lucky and it's available. You can register both, but if your code is Pepsi and someone else has Pepsi, then you're out of luck. It's just like a URL or a domain name. If it's taken, you got to go find the person that's got it. And so being the guy that set the price on short codes 20 years ago, we came up with the idea. We didn't want three Freds in the shed squatting on all the numbers, because there's a very limited resource. So we said we were going to make it $500 or $1,000. And we said, if you can't commit to, $6,000 or $12,000 a year for this, then how serious are you about, your brand or marketing to your consumers? So that was kind of a little background on why that number is what it is.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next slide, please.
Yeah. On that note, by the way, the 500 to 1,000, because I realize some people might be confused looking at the screen there. Yeah, like is it typically, you said 500 to 1,000. So do we ever see, for example, people paying 2,000 a month, like if they have a vanity short code or something like that?
So where the distinction lies is companies like Telnyx charge fees on top to make the services work. So they're administration fees. So if you go to the short code registry, if you go to the website, usshortcodes.com, you could sign up and get your own short code. If Telnyx does it, then we have fees on administration fees on top. And I don't know if the number is 1,000 or 2,000 or what have you. The actual number to rent a short code is $500 for a random code or $1,000 just to get the code. That doesn't mean you get to provision it or you get to run it and manage it or anything other than you just, it's like, think about going to, GoDaddy.com and creating a URL. That doesn't mean you're going to have a website. That doesn't mean it's going to work. It's not going to be hosted anywhere. You just simply are registering the name or the number in this case, and that's it. So then you got to go take it to a company like Telnyx and then make it work.
Yeah. And can someone, if they already have a short code, can they bring it over?
Yeah, of course. It's very, very easy process. Depending on who your current provider is, it could, we could see transfers in a matter of hours or days instead of weeks. And so it's a very seamless process to run a short code transfer.